you to blogtalkradio.com, WorcesterDailyNews.com, and everybody else who helps make this possible. By my side, I have the one, the only, too real, never phony, the incomparable Trooper Joe is in the building.
Hey, folks, look at all them words. Thank you. Thank you. I hope everybody knows what those words mean because I don't. But that's quite all right. I'm excited and happy to be here. It's almost Thanksgiving, so I get excited when Thanksgiving comes around anyway.
Well, I did come down with a little bit of an illness this weekend, Troop. I was preaching, and my stomach went a little bad, and it's over now. And I'd rather have it a couple days before Thanksgiving than on Thanksgiving.
That's
so
right.
I'm in a good mood. I hope that it stays. I'm in a great mood. My Celtics, my Boston Celtics, my jersey I'm wearing today. Yep, they are 16-2 this NBA season. They're on a 16-game winning streak. There's a lot of things to be happy about if you are a Celtics fan.
Well, I don't think I'm a fan of any kind of pro sports anymore, other than the Giants.
So you should come on over to the Celtics because you need something to be happy about.
Oh, well, I used to know a lot of Celtics way back in the day and stuff like that.
Okay.
When we had the Quincy Open League in Boston.
Yep.
You know, we had JoJo Wine, we had Charlie Scott, we had, what's his name? Everybody's uncle. All these guys used to play. A lot of college guys used to play. Dr. J used to play. A lot of guys from Worcester I see up here used to play in that. Spider Bennett, he's up here in Worcester. He used to play in that league. Oh yeah, we had a good league and stuff like that. Way back in the day. Mm-hmm. Way back in the day. Then it turned into the Every Ivy League. My friend Tommy McCarthy and myself and a few other people, we created the Every Ivy League down in the Fenway. Mm-hmm. And that was the outdoor league and stuff, and it became really, really popular. Patrick Ewing helped out quite a bit with Aces, sneakers, and those things like that. So it was good. Mm-hmm. Good. We don't do these things anymore, people. We need to consolidate some of our sports and stop trying to take our little sports things that we do and make it into mentorship programs for youth. It's like, come on, the youth are going to be youth. They're going to have eyes, they're going to have ears, they're going to watch what people do, and if it's in positive things, they're going to follow suit. If it's negative, they're going to follow suit that way. We don't have to take every little sporting event, basketball, baseball, boxing, football, everything like that, and turn it into some kind of mentoring program. We have to have that fun, people. That's what we need to have.
Well, speaking of sports, I think it's a good truth. I think it's good to help mentor kids because those are the things that the kids grow up to want to be. They want to be boxers and basketball players and things like that. So it's good to have mentoring programs. I do think that they should also have mentoring programs for things such as those who want to be doctors and firemen. Why doesn't the fire department have a mentoring program? You know, you can bring your kids and then you can play with the truck and everything, but shouldn't they have a mentoring program where they teach them how to really do all the things that entails being a firefighter?
They should have mentoring programs for all these things. But I don't think that they should, just because sports is so big, kids are full of energy and they run around and stuff like this. So as soon as you get them into some sports, playing sport, the first thing you want to do, let's teach them social skills.
Yep.
Nah. If you want to teach them social skills, teach them social skills. If you want, let them play basketball yourself or with them, play basketball or something with them. Run track with them. Mm-hmm. Do the Tough Mother. I think that there should be a Tough Mother training camp here, but from Worcester. We got all the woods and stuff like that. I think Worcester would make a profit for some kind of sporting and team development type of building. Not focused team development, but team development, building and everything, by building a Tough Mother training camp here in Worcester.
Right.
There's a lot of things you can do. And then, just like you said, they should have mentoring programs for the police, for businesses, and not one day little come by and see how somebody works. The politicians and stuff, they should have a program where the youth if they're interested in politics and stuff, they should have a program or department set up for mentoring in what it's like to be a politician. What's the nuances? What's the ins and outs? What's the real game?
Yeah, what's
how
the
to lie
fun?
and be sexually assaulted. Or something.
Yeah, how so it can attract millennials, because less and less millennials, less millennials are even voting now.
Yeah,
so
they're not doing anything else.
yeah, I don't know.
But not mess up all the sporting programs. And then you try to make it fair and equal and balanced and stuff. I never understood that. Some kids just stink.
Yeah.
It's like, no problem. They know that. You know?
Yeah.
Don't try to soothe their little egos, because their ego's not fraction. It's like they know, it's like, I can't play.
Right.
But I'm having fun hanging out with the peeps and stuff like this. You know, so you don't have to be all that touchy-feely and stuff like that with them.
Right. So that's why I like Worcester Technical High School.
Yeah?
Because Worcester Tech, they have half the 1 week they'll have academics where you're doing your schooling and stuff, and the other week they'll have shop week or whatever, so you can kind of delve into the career choices that you might want to do in the future. And I think all schools should have something, or should do something like that.
I think so too. I think they should totally get away from these. Here, everybody sit down and learn how to take the test. Now, here's the first question, so here's the first answer.
Right.
And now you repeat it back. Here's the first question, here's the first answer.
Regurgitate what I'm putting down in you now. So
yeah.
Right. So that's why I like Worcester Tech, because they do have things like that. Like, you could be a business financer, you could be a veterinarian. They have a veterinarian place in their hospital clinic in their school, and they have the students helping do things like fix animals or put them down and everything. So
yeah, that's important for kids' creative development.
Yep.
You know, kids know what they want to be when they're kids. They lose sight of that as they get older, and they put all this victimization in front of them and stuff.
Yep.
Rather than looking at what it is that really made them feel good when they was a kid.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, a kid who likes to just put and look at bugs crawl and walk around there, you know, you never know where that's going to develop. They might become a great doctor or a great veterinarian or just somebody who likes mechanics and stuff, and they're watching. You don't know why they're watching the bug crawl.
Right. It's always better to learn by hands-on than it is by just regurgitating and being thrown and fed all kinds of information.
Yeah, no, yeah, and the schools. I don't want to go eat up the schools again, but I think if the schools put more energy into teaching the kids basic skills that the schools never really taught.
Yep.
The skills of how to study, you know, how to do a research paper. I know first you have to learn how to do a book report. Then you have to learn how to do, then they use the word essay, so that you got to use 2 books and another reference or something. But then, you know, they stop.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't learn how to do a research paper.
Right.
Or anything. Just a small, not an in-depth research paper, theses on your favorite hypothesis of life or something. No, you know, they might be researching why turkeys say gobble gobble or something like that, you know?
Yep.
I mean, which would be big in itself, but...
Right. So, Patty Eppinger.
Patty!
She was talking with director Bill Herndon and Tracy Harris. Patty and Fred Eppinger's home in Grafton was turned into a TV set Monday to shoot the series for the pilot, Seven Hills. And Seven Hills is going to be a television show about addiction.
About addiction.
Or a series about addiction. With every hill comes a climb, reads the tagline to a drama series about teen addiction and recovery being shot in and around Worcester. The series, called Seven Hills, reflects not only the area's geographic landmarks, but also builds on the city's spirit of resilience. Bill Herndon of M2M Studios, who is the show's creator, executive producer, and director, described the setting and focus of the series as sharing the struggles of talented young people working to find redemption in a world of uncertain possibilities. There's a lot of transformational things going on in Worcester. Mr. Herndon, who is based in New Jersey and works in New York and Los Angeles, said in an interview on the set Monday. but it's not going to be easy for you. He said, as we film this, we're trying to show the human spirit in its beauty and its conflict. The scenes being filmed now are a pilot for what is hoped to be a series that will be picked up by outlets such as Netflix or Hulu. According to the program's synopsis, Seven Hills is a series about second chances, new beginnings, and redemption. The series deals with the talented young people facing the reality of drug addiction and the deep-rooted pain it can cause everyone involved. They must learn how to live with an addiction that destroys lives, stifles dreams, and constantly lurking in the shadows, waiting to overtake them at their weakest moment. The summary continues. In the hope that they can learn to live past their addictions and reach their full potential, viewers will follow the lives of these young hopefuls and experience the series through two prisms, that of recovering transitional home housemates and that of house counselors who are former addicts themselves. Troop, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I hope that this program really does something to bring some real, true light to the problem of addiction. It sounds like they're going to whitewash this thing till the white comes out of this so powerfully that you would think that there's nobody else in the planet that has a drug addiction problem. Not anybody in Europe, not anybody in Africa, not anybody in Asia, not anybody in New York City. You would think that the drug addiction problem is solely being perpetrated by evil demons that lurk in some place that is mythical or something like that, and attack little white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids and destroy their little lives and stuff. It's like, please, what happened to the rest of the world? You cannot sanitize drug addiction.
Right.
Drug addiction don't care where you live, what your potential is, who you are, any of those things like that. If you're gonna, I hope that they really do this thing and they don't sanitize this like these are the nice little kids and stuff. No, these are nice little kids who made a bad choice. Somewhere along the line, they decided to make that choice, to experiment with that drug. That's homeschooling, folks. That's homeschooling right there. You know, you can't beat drug addiction after it's taken hold of something. You have to beat drug addiction before it takes hold. So I think this program is going to do nothing more than paint a little white face on there so people can really have something to look at and say, oh, that looks like my little Johnny and everything. Because now it's okay. Because it's out there in the public for everybody to say, yeah, we have, a couple of my children had a drug problem too, you know, and this and that and everything. And that's fine for the people who don't have the drug problem. Not good for the people who do have the drug problem, because the drugs don't care. It will kill you, folks. You may think you're clean for 6 months. You may think you're clean for a year. A little bit of stressful trauma comes into your life and the temptation starts to arise again, and you may go right back into seeking out that drug. Drugs is not something to be sanitized. Drug is evil. Drugs is something to be looked at like, I'm going to cut your head off, drugs. That's what I have to do to that. You have to be taking a proactive approach to drugs, and it has to start with the youth when they're down there in their little impressionable ages of life, not later on, oh, these were good kids and please. That's my thought.
So I'm going to wait to give my opinion or judgment on the series. If the series is really an eye-opener and it helps America to really recognize the seriousness and severity of the opioid addiction, because I don't think America still, even though the president has acknowledged that it's a problem and he said it's an emergency, even though he hasn't really declared it's one, I don't think we really look at it as a problem.
We have war on drugs since Nixon.
Right, but the war on drugs was taken more seriously than the opioid epidemic is now. Now what we're doing for the opioid epidemic is talking about talk. It's all talk.
That's all it is.
And then we're talking about allowing them to use the drugs in the safe places and
crazy. And then legalizing marijuana. It's $1 billion industry out there now.
Yep.
All these things, all these little pretty things that they're showing, and all this sadness and all that stuff like this, it's true, but it's making money for somebody in the background.
Yep.
You know, there's more people out there being poverty pimps and stuff like that, just making money off of these drugs.
Right.
And because they're painting the face with white, they're able to make the money. When it was the minority face that was out there, it was like, oh, thank God it doesn't come to my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, what are you doing over there, Johnny? I'll tell you a nap. I don't feel so good. You know? Okay, you just relax over there. Maybe you got a cold.
Yeah. But one of the things that I am positive about in this whole thing is, number one, the people that are making the film are people that really deal with the opioid epidemic. Mrs. Eppinger is a community volunteer, manager, consultant, and recent recipient of Worcester's Historical Museum's Harvey Ball Smile Award. She met with Mr. Herndon and when she and her 16-year-old daughter, Lauren, were in Los Angeles for the International Modeling and Talent Association convention. But she works at one of the homes for treatment for people with addictions.
That's very admirable and stuff.
So she sees it firsthand.
She sees it secondhand. She sees it sanitized with the white sheets and stuff like that. She sees it from the view of a hospital setting. She don't see it like I see it in the laundromat that I go to.
Right.
To do the laundry.
Right.
Where I've been going for 2 years just to study, just take a look at what it looks like on the street.
Mm-hmm.
You know, does she see it like that? I don't know. From what you're saying like this here, she don't see it like that. It's just like a church.
Yep.
I read this thing on Facebook, and the pastor, the new pastor of the church, dressed up as a homeless person. In the church.
Yeah.
And nobody recognized him.
And talk to him.
Nobody talked to him.
Right.
No, it kind of like, go sit in the back away from everybody because we don't really want your kind around here. And
right.
Everything. Why? Because we don't understand your kind. You
yep.
know? And then when they introduced the new pastor and he made his way up to the front while they were still all applauding, looking around for where the new pastor, and then he finally got the mic up in the front and then he just cussed them all out for being who they really showed themselves to be.
Yep.
It's not that dramatic, but if you're looking at drugs from a sanitized point of view in the hospital where the sheets are white,
mm-hmm.
where the faces are washed,
yep.
you know, where the hair's not all natted up from the dirt and stuff from them probably having to laying down out in the street and everything all night and everything, where they're well fed, you know.
Well, that's how they come into the place, though.
Yeah, but they come in and then they get clean,
mm-hmm.
so the smell stops.
Okay.
You know, they're not smelling what it's like to be an addicted person out there on the street fighting for their lives and existence and stuff. Not all of them. Some of them might know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different. That's what's wrong with drugs. Drugs, you can get sanitized,
mm-hmm.
but you can't live there forever.
Nope, you can't.
You know, and when you get back out, it's still waiting on you.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it's a very difficult, hard problem to kind of defeat, and you have to defeat it. You can't medicate it. You
nope.
can't negotiate with it. You can't even beat it up. You have to kill it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the scenes are being shot with Everyday Miracles, a peer recovery support center on Pleasant Street, and
yep.
Cafe Reyes, a Latin American restaurant on Shrewsbury Street that serves as a training site for Latino men in recovery.
I know why I forgot her name. Just ran right out of my head. Very nice place. It's very good. It's a secondary type of place and stuff. And people that come through there and stuff. But I don't think the people coming through, a lot of these people were they had drugs in their lives. But I think more of their problem was towards violence. More of their problem was more hopelessness. More of their problem was towards gang affiliation and those type of things that are associated with drugs. I think a lot of them had more of their drugs of choice were alcohol.
Yep.
And like you stop playing with heroin, fentanyl, all them guys like this here, opioids that come in prescription form and stuff. Those nasty boys are gonna hurt you.
Yep.
They're gonna hurt you bad. They're gonna hurt. And the Reyes House is an excellent place. And if it would, you know what makes the Reyes House better than most of the other places out there? It's not catering to the people as woe was you. It's all right. You did this. Come on in here and learn how to be a chef. Come on in here and learn how to be a waiter. Come on in here and learn this skill and stuff like this. They don't put the word over the door. Come on in here and regain the dignity that you had lost because of drugs and stuff like that. But that's what you feel when you walk through the door and you start to interact with something that's productive that you can wrap yourself around and stand tall with.
Yep.
It ain't about making money. It ain't about making things like this. It's all about regaining the dignity of yourself.
Yep.
And I think that's what makes the Reyes House such a powerful place. Now, I don't know Everyday Miracles. I've seen a couple of people who come from Everyday Miracles, and it's a great organization for those people who really don't have that. They're not addicted to the point where they're decimated and their survival is everyday survival to live on the streets. Some are, and from what I understand, some of those ones that are, they fail big time. They fail big time. I'm not trying to cut up the program, but the ones who aren't, they're able to go out there and they get job placements and they get to learn things in that type of setting and stuff, and that's powerful.
Well, would you really say that the program fails big time or that the people fail? Because you can't help, only the program's meant to help people who want to be helped.
Exactly.
The people who fail are people that still aren't ready yet and they want to do the drugs. So
that's the problem. Exactly. You hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
If they want to be helped, these programs are out there and they're the best shot that they have, along with family love and along with them extra things of church and along with other things that go along with that to get help. It can't be done by one program alone.
Right.
It's just not going. It's just drugs is too powerful.
Yep.
It won't work. But if you're not ready and you're using it because you can go in a program and go to jail.
Yep.
I'll go to program because I'll leave in a week.
Right. I'll be out there 30 days tops.
Yeah,
yep.
Tops. I'll be right back out doing what. Then it's not going to work. And that's the mindset they have.
Yep.
Their whole life has been based on making one choice and then that choice beat them up. They choose to try to deal with the drugs. They was experimenting with drugs. They choose and they lost. Then you give them another choice.
Yep.
Hey, which one you want to do? Well, I'm familiar with the drugs. I can handle it, I think. Or do you want to go to jail? That's a scary place. I don't want to go to jail.
Right.
They're not going to do anything for me. I don't want to go to jail, so I go to the program.
It could open the eyes of America to let it know that it happens to more middle class families.
Oh, yeah.
People still look at, I think people, for the majority, still look at opioid epidemic as poor, is something that's plaguing the poor people. Yeah. Only the people in the know that it's plaguing the rich people. Now, they're starting to realize it more. The rich people are, and the middle class are starting to realize it more. But I still think a lot of eyes need to be open to it.
They need to stop how am I gonna put this? The poor sector and everything, the colors I'm gonna use colors, folks. The colors in the poor sectors are black and red. And brown.
Yep.
Okay, because the people in the poorest sections, there's white people at the end too, but it's, you know, the people who live in the inner cities and stuff, not working, walking around in the daylight, who live there and everything, they're black, brown. And then the color that you see mostly in the inner cities has to do with the traffic.
Yeah.
And that's red, and that denotes blood. That's a sign that looks at blood. It's red, and that's the negative part of the traffic sign. Stop. That's the command.
Yeah.
You stop, right? Because you look at the traffic sign, you got green, you go. Then you got yellow, nice soothing color. Caution now, because red's coming. You stop. These are the colors in the inner city. Those aren't the colors in the suburbs.
Right.
There are no traffic signs.
Nope.
There's white people in the suburbs.
Yeah.
You know, so they don't have those hard colors that in all mythologies and all walks of life would be looking at death. The devil's black and red. You know, they don't have those death colors that they have in the inner city and stuff.
Right.
So now if you bring in, so can't be drugs in the middle class society. Why would there be drugs? There's no evil in the middle class society.
Right.
It's all down here.
Yeah.
But now they're finding out, it's out there. It's out there in the middle class society. So if these programs that they're doing on the TV, if they can enlighten people to stop pretending and whitewashing everything with this broad brush that you live in a fine, nice house and everything, but the drugs come into your house much easier than it does on the street. You can go to the hospital with a broken toe or just a bruised toenail and get a prescription.
Yep.
And then, you know, it comes in there, but it's sanitized.
Right.
Because it's on a piece of paper with a little doctor's signature on the bottom of it. So this is a medication that's doing you good. It's the same drug. Do you need to have that drug for that broken toenail?
Right.
No.
Well, we live in a town in the city of Worcester where they don't recognize the opioid epidemic.
No.
Worcester doesn't.
No,
if you ask our mayor, well, first off, if you ask our mayor, he'll say Worcester's thriving and Worcester's great and Worcester's wonderful. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of the city council will echo the same sentiments. Oh, Worcester's fine. Worcester's great. Worcester's, you know, they'll talk about sidewalks needing to be made. They'll talk about education a little bit. But the opioid problem is something that they say is not their city.
Yeah.
Like, we are thriving. We are growing. We are not opioid epidemics. But they really are.
Of course they are. And if you go to the opioid council thing that I sat on, I just couldn't take it anymore. They go and look at all the things that are brought in for all these health programs. And the health programs, their doctrine is great. The only thing is it won't work.
Okay.
Drugs. And they won't come to the fact that you have to look at it from another angle, from another lens. You just can't look at it from your little understanding and wants of what you want that program to do. It'll look beautiful and perfect on a piece of paper, but it won't work.
Nope.
You know, it won't work. And you can find exceptions. You can find several people that have been successfully removed from a drug addiction life. But there's millions of people out there in the drug addiction life. So if you're getting digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're losing 500,000, come on, that doesn't add up.
Yep.
Might look pretty for you and might soothe your mental state, but it doesn't add up.
Nope, it doesn't. And the weird thing about it is that the opioids epidemic, it could hit anybody.
Anybody.
It could hit your kids. It could hit your.
Hit you.
Yep. It could hit. It could hit you. It could hit your son, your daughter, your nephew. It could hit everybody.
That's it. One of the biggest people that are using opioid things now, and none of these programs are even focused on them, are the elderly. They're the ones who are getting all this pain medication.
Yep.
They're getting pain medication for nothing.
Right.
You know, they just getting it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. it's still addictive.
Right.
It's like the mind said, well, they're elderly, so they're taking it because they have pain. Because you know that as you grow older, that your bones soften and you're less likely to be able to stand some kind of pains, and you get rheumatoid arthritis, you get all these type of things like this. So they put all this beautiful whitewash on it, and the poor little old lady and everything, she's a junkie.
Right. Yep.
You know, it's like she can't afford the medication, so she's taking the medication, selling the medication, and buying heroin. And they're not seeing it because they don't look for it.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
They just don't look for it. They think that it's some kind of middle age, not even middle age, not a young person, but intermediate person's age. I don't even know what you would call it, like from 16 to 30, 32, 35. It's their problem.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
Well, not even that. That thing you read off first about the program is showing young youth with potential of going off to do things spectacular and stuff.
Yep.
They didn't even start to live yet. They and if they got the taste for drugs, it ain't going away.
Well, the story Seven Hills is going to focus on a middle class family.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll open eyes to people to see how it affects, people who are not living well off, but people who aren't in poverty. Because it's easy to show the opioid addiction problem in a family that's in poverty. But to show it in the middle class is going to be a little bit more eye-opening for people. Because as soon as you think opioids, you think poverty, you think the poorest parts. So for them deciding to do it to a middle class or even a rich family, to me, I think is better.
And it's like, will that work? No. And I ain't even going out on a limb. I'm just going to say emphatically, will it work? No. And here's my reason why. Last week in the courthouse, the judge's daughter, who was an opioid addicted person, who had tried to talk her way out of whatever crime she had committed with the traffic cops and everything, on saying some kind of sex-related type of incident.
Yep.
She's the judge's daughter. I'm sure she doesn't live in the city.
Right.
Does anybody focus on it? Does that fact come aware to the people? You can bring awareness to it like this, but it's not sustainable.
Right.
It's not how much more sustainable is something that's the judge's daughter.
Right. Yep.
He's the one passing sentence on people for drug addiction and stuff, giving them office and stuff. That's his daughter.
Yep, it is.
And it's like, she didn't even, it's like he wasn't aware of her situation, it seems, or he didn't really give it a lot of, I don't know what he did, tell you the truth. It didn't seem as though he did anything till she got arrested, and then they tried to cover it up.
Right.
It's like, that's wrong. But this is to say, yeah, well, just bring awareness to it for a quick minute. One of them New York minutes.
Yeah.
And then it'll go right away, and it'll go back to looking just like it is.
Well,
because, and just like I said with my little scenario there, because of the colors.
Yeah.
Because of the way our culture looks at things through this mythological color setup, and this is how we will look at that thing. Sanitized white out here in the middle class, evil darkness and black down here in the inner city and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where the things are going to be. I mean, look at, you don't have traffic jams in the middle class.
Right.
It's all these things, all this evil, all this stuff that gets in the way of your joy and entertainment takes place in the inner city.
Yep.
Yeah, so you got to brighten up the inner city too. You got to give people a place where they feel proud and stuff. Like the Reyes house, like I said, it's not on any walls or anything like that, I don't believe, but the dignity that you feel, you return to dignity. You feel good about yourself once you're doing stuff, and I think they kind of lean more towards chef and preparation of food and stuff, and culinary type of art like that. There, who Who doesn't feel good making a sunny side egg or a fried egg and they flip it over and the yolk doesn't break?
Right.
I mean, I go into my happy dance, I get all with it. Yeah. I open the windows, tell everybody, I flipped this egg, the yolk didn't break. Feel good. It feels good. So they got a good program there that's going to work. And if the other places got programs, you got to give people something that they can wrap themselves around, that they can want to change their whole existence from. Not just be getting, I want to be well, I want to feel good. They want to have a program where they're going to change their whole state of mind, their whole state of being, because that drug addiction didn't start on Monday. Mm-hmm. And then you found out about it on Wednesday.
Well, another thing, the higher purpose that the show can serve is a family can watch it and then say, let me look. I see how this teenager started on these drugs. Let me pay more attention to my teenagers and make sure they're not getting into things like that. What are they doing that what are they doing that can cause them to become more addicted to drugs and things? So.
Yeah. Or they can listen to Trooping in the Air.
That's right. And learn to stone them.
Stone them.
That's what should happen to them. But no, if it helps a family look into some self-reflection and make sure that they are telling their kids they love them and paying attention to their kids, because that's how it happens.
Yeah.
A kid doesn't just decide to wake up to do drugs because nothing's going on. There's usually a problem in his life that you can point to that say that's what caused him to at least want to experiment with drugs.
Yeah.
It could be a bad relationship with one of the parents. It could be someone being molested. It could be a whole slew of things that could be happening that could cause a student. A student could be getting bullied. Yeah. A lot of things that could cause a child to want to get into drugs. So I think that stuff is needed to help people become more aware. And if it makes families become more aware, then I'm all for the series.
Yeah, I'm all for the series. That it can't hurt.
Nope.
It can't hurt. But it is no magic bullet. There's nothing spectacular about it. It's not even novel.
I don't know, Troop. You gotta give it a chance. You never know. It could be.
I think that it's a targeted type of series, and that's okay for the group that is targeted and stuff. I hope the people who watch it, I hope, just like you said, they glean something out of it that's going to be positive to say, do I really love my kids enough to take a real interest in them, or am I just going to take a peripheral interest in them and do what it is that I like to do.
Right.
That's the whole point. And the kids, they're not going to tell you.
Yep.
And it's not just kids. You got to take an interest in grammar too. And stop pretending that just because you get a prescription that this drug isn't a drug anymore. Mm-hmm. It's a medicine. It's not. Because drug addiction is not a disease, folks. It's a choice.
But opioid addiction is drug addiction.
They put a name on it. They put a word in there. Yep. That's all they did. Mm-hmm. They stuck a word in there. And everybody want to be smart. So now they go, we can separate it because of this. Or we can separate. It's the same.
Right.
There's no difference.
Yep. They said they're focusing on making everything look realistic, including track marks on a drug user's arms and dirt on the clothes of someone sleeping on the streets. I really hope they also focus on the drug dealers who are selling these drugs and getting the drugs sold out to everybody.
They already know them. They know of them.
Yep.
But they don't. I'll see. I'm going to try to watch this thing. And if they're just showing this stuff and I do not see the moon set.
Yep.
And I do not see the night and not the quick flash by of the night, the actual night street interactions and stuff. Mm-hmm. Drugs don't happen just in the daytime.
Right.
They happen in the night.
The dead of the night. Prostitution, all that stuff happens at night.
All those things that come with drug addiction, all those ways of living on the streets. These people aren't living in, this program's living in middle class society.
Yep.
But the majority of the people who have drug addiction problems and stuff, there's some of them are so burnt they can't even put a sentence together from a nursery rhyme.
Right.
They're just burnt, you know, and they're still the problem. They're still the same person.
Mm-hmm.
But just looking at it from this one perspective and stuff, it'll be a good TV show. But hopefully it'll bring an insight into somebody and save somebody's life, and that'll make it all the powerful. But other than that, I don't think it's going anywhere.
I'm excited to see it.
I'm just being, truthful.
I have faith, Troop. I have hope. I hope that it is very successful. I hope it opens all of America, the world's eyes to the opioid epidemic, and we'll see where we go from there.
I hope it does too. I hope it really does. But I'm not seeing it. I think the drugs is just way too powerful, and I think that we need to focus our attentions not on those middle class societies and everything. That's poverty pimp making the money. That's what I'm gonna say it is anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to put our focus on the younger generation, those kids, so that they have better choices to make and they don't want to go the route of the drug.
Yep.
That they're able to stand on their own 2 feet, because it's somebody. If you're a kid and you don't want to go do with the other kids, you're going to get bullied, you're going to get pushed around. It's been going on since the Stone Age.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a kid and they really have their own self-esteem and they know who they are, they don't get bullied and pushed around and stuff. Just like, why would I go over there where you're going to bully me and say, go on over there and play with your little bully self over here. I'm going over here. I'm going to the library because there's something that really interested me. They might have a movie in the library on dunghills of the dinosaurs or something.
Right.
I don't know what it would be, but they might want to go over there and do that.
Maybe.
But if they're given the opportunity.
Right.
And that comes from their in school too, and at home, but in school too. If you're not teaching them anything in school other than just, here's the first question to the test and here's the answer, now give it back to me, then their creativity doesn't get up there. So after school, they're going to seek adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to go, I take the bully and I hang out with him, and then the next thing you know, these people really love me and treat me good and stuff like that. Yeah, they're my friends and everything. I don't want to do drugs, but I'll pretend like I'm doing it. You can't pretend. The drug don't care.
Right.
A little bit, a lot. It's all the same. I got you.
Well, with every hill comes a climb. 7 Hills, which is based out of Worcester. I hope this series does get picked up by Netflix, and I hope that the series becomes a huge hit, because there's no series like it out right now.
Well, the other 7 Hill, great 7 Hill type of city of this world fell to ruin. Was Rome.
Oh, okay.
So don't go by all these 7 hills you gotta climb, because Rome was kind of a rascal.
And they didn't climb them 7 hills.
Oh, they had all kinds of things going on.
Yeah, they had a lot more than opioid problems.
Yeah, everything was going on in that place. So.
Yeah, I don't. Killing Jesus didn't help. I know
that didn't help me.
All right, what we're gonna do is we'll take a break and we'll be back on Truth It in the AM.
Truth It.